Hi, friends! So, I just finished watching the finale of Sailor Moon Crystal Season 3, and, I thought it was better than the last episode. So, that's a good thing, because the last one just didn't really capture my attention at all. If you guys watched that vlog last time, you could probably tell, uh, that I sounded kind of unimpressed. But, as for this one, um, so it started out kind of slow, so I was worried that I would have a repeat of the last time, and I was kind of upset because, like, during that fight in the finale, they started playing the theme song, and, the theme song is really, like, mellow and kind of sounds like a lullaby, so I was like, that doesn't really fit for, like, a fighting sequence at all, let alone the finale. So that was a little strange of a choice on their part. Um, didn't really like that. It would have worked had the theme song been more like season 1 and 2's maybe, but this one was kind of like, I don't know. It's very lullaby-ish to me. So yeah, I didn't think it worked as climax fighting music. You know what I mean? Um, Actually, I think there's a fighting game that has climax in the title. I think it's like an anime fighter or something. But anyway, I'm getting off topic already. The animation in this episode looked really nice. I think I'm saying I think because it's my opinion, but someone out there could disagree. But I thought that the animation in this episode looked nice. It was definitely more eye-catching than the last episode as well. Um, Especially toward the end, I thought it got like really, really good. So I'll talk more about that later. Um, I still think Sailor Saturn is the best Senshi. Um, she was still pretty badass in this episode, especially how she was willing to like go into another dimension with Master Pharaoh 90 just to like lock him away. So that was pretty cool. And she was kind of like the boss of Sailor Pluto in a way because she like gave Pluto an order and she had to do it. So I was like, maybe like Sailor Saturn's kind of like the leader of the outer Senshi in a way, maybe. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty cool. Um, and they did keep the continuity with Tuxedo Mask being an idiot and taking forever to figure something out. Like when Sailor Moon is in her Princess Serenity form and she's like using her magic to fix the city and stuff, and he's all like having that flashback about that dream, and he's like, oh, well, I guess she was the Messiah. It's like, um, duh. Like, he always takes forever to figure out that basically his entire life revolves around Sailor Moon. Like, just get it already. um, and we also get to see the beginning of one of my favorite families in all of anime, in that Sailor Saturn was reborn as a baby, and so Neptune's like, oh, well, since she's just an infant and, has no one now that her father is dead and stuff, why don't we take care of her? And I really like that. I don't know if they ever touch on that family dynamic in the 90s series that I recall, but it was one of my favorite things about the manga because I really think that dynamic is cool because, like, you could have just had Haruka and Michiru take care of her as, like, a lesbian couple, but then they also have Setsuna in there, and it kind of makes the family more unique because there's three of them taking care of this child, and they're all these warriors with special powers, and they know that she's going to one day show her powers again, and they're like preparing her for that too. So I don't know. I really like, that whole family dynamic that they have going on there, and I hope that they show more of that in the next season, if we get a next season. I hope we do, because, you know, uh, I also like the Super S season. That's my second favorite after this one. So yeah. Um, so about the animation, the part that was my favorite was after the climax and the outer senshi are leaving, and it shows the inner senshi standing around together with the wind blowing through their hair. And I just thought that it looked really beautiful and smooth. Like, I could just have a gif of that where it just like shows. And this is another thing that I like. They have Mars and Venus standing together, and then they have Mercury and Jupiter standing together. And those are the two pairs that I kind of like semi-ship. So, respect. Um, but it looked really pretty. I liked how they did the facial expressions and the way their hair was moving and their clothing. You know, it's just subtle things like that that I really appreciate. And after that, we sort of get into a little more lightheartedness. Basically, Chibiusa is going back to the future, and it shows like a little scene where all of the inner senshi are kind of talking about how they all got into high school, and they're like showing off their new uniforms and saying, "Oh, thank God we passed the test," and blah blah blah. And I really appreciated that. It was very refreshing after like so many episodes of fighting, because I think the real heart of Sailor Moon comes from the scenes where it shows the relationship between the characters as opposed to the fight scenes. Like, don't get me wrong, the fight scenes are cool, but I really think that the whole series shines when it shows the characters interacting with each other, and, because her power comes from friendship and love, so it makes sense that they would have to devote some time to that. And I'm glad that they did in the finale, because like I was getting so tired of the nonstop fighting. I needed that refreshing scene where they're just like, here's a little comedy, and also, establishing more of their character relationships with each other and stuff like that. They were talking about like all the clubs they wanted to join once they got into high school, and Minako was all excited because Usagi and her are going to start going to the same school, and she's like, well, now I have a buddy who I can fail tests with, and that kind of stuff is really cute. Ray is still not going to the same school as they are. She's still attending a private school. So, just getting that out of the way. She's more of a loner type anyway, but, still hanging out with them after school. So yeah, that was definitely welcomed after all those episodes of fighting. So, after that, there was a little foreshadowing of maybe we're getting next season, because they showed the total solar eclipse that was going to happen, and then Chibiusa and Usagi hear the sound of a bell, and we all know what that means. Helios. So, yeah, we may be getting the Super S season, and if that happens, great, because I like that season too, and I might make more vlogs about it, who knows. But in any case, if that happens, I will definitely be excited for it. And I was also happy because for the finale, they went back to that ending theme that had the duet between Haruka and Michiru. Thank God, because I did not like that Tuxedo Mask song. I'm sorry, like, I just thought it was corny. You know, I would have been happy with the Chibiusa song, but, like, no to the Tuxedo Mask song. But I'm really glad that they brought back the duet, because I think that was probably the best ending theme of this season. So, you know, ending off on a strong note. But anyway, so that was my thoughts on the finale. Much better than the last episode. However, it didn't make me cry, so that's not a perfect score for me. For me, when it comes to animation, if it makes me cry, that means it's good. If it doesn't, that doesn't necessarily make it bad, that just means it didn't leave a huge impact on me. Because, like, I'm sorry, for the 90s Sailor Moon, I cried during, like, every season finale. Whereas this one, I think I cried when Sailor Pluto died in that last season, in the R season, even though it wasn't called that, it was just Sailor Moon Crystal season 2. But, yeah, I haven't really cried any other times, I don't think. So, maybe next season. I know that Super S has a lot of characters that I really like, whereas this one I only really liked the Witches 5 and Hotaru. Um, they're well, Hotaru's death kind of got me a little bit, but the Witches 5 not really. They were a lot more disposable than in the 90s series, where they had more time to like develop who they were. Um, But, you know, next season we may be getting some tears from me because I do like the Amazonesses. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. And the three guys, I don't remember what they're called as a group, but it's Tiger's Eye, Hawk Eye, and Fish Eye. So I like them a lot too. But anyway, we'll see if we even get a next season. I hope so. But that's all from me. Until next time. Bye.